Alex and his brother David were very close. They grew up together in a small house and did everything side by side. Every morning, they woke up early to eat breakfast together. David liked cereal, and Alex preferred toast. After eating, they walked to school, laughing and talking all the way. They loved playing football and spent hours every evening in the yard, kicking the ball, laughing, and dreaming of becoming famous football players one day. Their bond was strong and filled with love, but then, one day, something terrible happened. David was walking home from school alone because Alex had stayed back for an extra class. It seemed like a normal day, until suddenly, a car hit David on the street. The car didn't stop. People nearby ran to help and quickly called an ambulance, but it was too late. David was taken to the hospital, but he didn't survive. When Alex heard the news, he was in shock. He rushed to the hospital with his mother, but David had already passed away. Alex's heart shattered. He cried for days and felt completely lost without his brother. He couldn't imagine a life without David. His mother was also heartbroken. She loved David deeply and couldn't stop crying. She stayed in her room all day, looking at old photos of her son. The house, once full of laughter, now felt cold and empty. There were no more football games, no more giggles, just silence. Alex tried to be strong for his mother. He sat with her, held her hand, and tried to make her smile, but the sadness was too deep. It was the beginning of a very difficult time for both of them. Days passed, then weeks, and months. But the pain stayed. The house felt lonely. Alex couldn't bring himself to play football anymore because it reminded him too much of David. Every time he looked at a football, memories of his brother came rushing back, memories of them laughing, running, and dreaming together. His mother also couldn't move on. She didn't want to leave the house. Most days, she just stayed in her room, silent and distant. Alex didn't know how to help her. He felt helpless and wished he could bring David back, but deep down, he knew that was impossible. One day, Alex went to the park by himself. He sat on a bench, quietly watching children play. His heart ached with loneliness. Then, a small boy came running up to him and said, "Do you want to play with us?" Alex looked at the boy's bright smile. For the first time in months, he felt a little warmth in his heart. He didn't want to forget David, but he realized it was okay to smile again. Alex smiled and said, "Okay, let's play." That simple moment gave him a little bit of hope. At home, his mother was still deeply sad, but Alex did what he could to help. He made her tea and sat with her, quietly. Slowly, she began to talk again. She didn't speak much about David, but she started doing small things, cooking in the kitchen, and sometimes, even smiling at Alex. These tiny changes gave Alex hope. He knew things would never be the same again. But he also began to understand that life doesn't stop. Slowly, he and his mother started to heal. It was still hard, but step by step, they were finding their way. One day, Alex went into the attic and found an old football. It was dusty, but holding it brought back beautiful memories. He sat on the floor, holding the ball, remembering the last game they played. David had scored a goal, and they had laughed so hard. A soft smile appeared on Alex's face. His mother saw him with the ball and sat beside him. After a long silence, she said gently, "David would want you to keep playing. He would want you to be happy." Alex looked at her. For the first time in so long, he felt a bit of peace. She was right. David wouldn't want him to be sad forever. Alex went outside and started kicking the ball in the yard. At first, it felt strange. But soon, with every kick, he felt lighter. It wasn't the same without David, but it made him feel close to him again. His mother also began to leave the house. She started taking short walks in the park and even met with friends. She still missed David deeply, but she was learning to smile again. One afternoon, Alex sat beside her and said, I think David would be proud of us." His mother looked at him with tears in her eyes, this time, not from pain, but from peace. "Yes," she whispered. "I think he would be proud." Alex knew deep in his heart that even though he and his mother would always miss David, they had to keep moving forward. They could still remember him with love and take one step at a time. Life had changed, but it didn't stop. Slowly, Alex and his mother became stronger. They were learning to live without David, but his memory was always with them. Alex started playing football again. Whenever he scored a goal, he would look up at the sky and smile. In that moment, it felt like David was there, cheering for him. He believed David would want him to be happy and never give up. One day, Alex's mother gave him a surprise. "We're going to the beach," she said. It was David's favorite place. He used to love swimming and collecting seashells. They hadn't visited the beach since David's death. But now they both felt ready. When they reached the beach, the sun was shining and the waves were calm. They stood quietly near the water, feeling the cool breeze on their faces. Alex looked out at the ocean and, for the first time in a long while, he felt peace. It was like David was there, in the wind, in the waves, and in the sky. They walked along the shore, picked up seashells, and smiled through the memories. That evening, as the sun began to set, Alex said, "I miss David, but I think he's happy where he is." His mother nodded, tears shining in her eyes, but she was smiling. "Yes," she said, "I think he's at peace." From that day, Alex and his mother found comfort in small moments. Life would never be the same without David, but they were learning to live again, with love, hope, and the memory of David in their hearts. Time went on, and every year on David's birthday, they visited the beach. It became a special tradition. They would sit by the water, talk about their favorite memories, and feel close to David. Then, one day, Alex received a letter from his school. He had been invited to join the school's football team for an upcoming tournament. At first, Alex wasn't sure. He hadn't played in a real match since David died. But then he remembered David's words, his encouragement and belief in him. Taking a deep breath, Alex decided to join the team. He practiced every day, worked hard, and built his confidence again. It wasn't easy, but he could feel David with him, every kick, every run, every step. On the day of the tournament, Alex was nervous but excited. His mother came to cheer him on, just like she used to for David. As he stood on the field, Alex felt a wave of emotion. He was proud, strong, and ready. The match was tough, but Alex gave it his all. He scored a goal, and his team won the tournament. As the crowd cheered, Alex looked up at the sky and whispered, "This one's for you, David." After the match, his mother hugged him tightly. "You did it," she said. "David would be so proud of you." Alex smiled, feeling something he hadn't felt in a long time, peace, pride, and a deep sense of connection to his brother. Years passed. Alex finished school, went to college, and started a new chapter in life. But he never forgot David. His memories were like a gentle light, guiding him through difficult times and inspiring him to live with kindness and courage. His mother, too, had found new strength. She started helping others who were grieving. "It makes me feel close to David," she told Alex. "Like I'm carrying his kindness forward." And every year, on David's birthday, they still visited the beach. They would sit by the ocean, share stories, and feel the calmness in the waves. It was a way to keep David close. One day, in his 20s, Alex stood at the beach alone. He looked out at the sea, closed his eyes, and whispered, "Thank you, David. I'll always carry you with me." As he opened his eyes, the wind brushed his face gently, and he smiled. Life had brought him pain, but also love, strength, and the power to move forward. David was gone, but he would always be a part of Alex, in every memory, every step, and every smile.